Do you ever wonder why you feel so isolated, even in a crowd? Why every time you try to connect with someone, it feels like something pulls you back into silence? Why, when you start to lean on others for support, doors begin to close and you find yourself alone again? Have you ever asked why it seems like everyone else is moving forward, but you're stuck in this space, uncertain of what's next? You feel the weight of being disconnected, almost as if you don't belong. You look around and everyone else is carrying on, yet you're standing still, unsure of your place in this world. These are not mere coincidences. These aren't signs of failure or indications that something's wrong with you. You might feel like you're being rejected, but in reality, you're being prepared. And here's the divine truth I need to share with you today. You are being set apart for a greater purpose, even if you don't fully understand it right now. If you've ever felt this deep stirring within you, this divine discomfort, then you know there's more to your journey than what meets the eye. This message isn't for everyone. If you are hearing these words today, it's because something in your spirit has already recognized it. Your heart, your soul, already knows what I'm about to say, even before you consciously understand it. If you are listening to this, it's not by accident. This is your confirmation. It's the divine assurance that heaven has been speaking to you, even in the quiet places where you thought no one could hear. You thought you were walking alone, but God was walking beside you every step of the way, even when you couldn't see him. You're not just here by chance. You've been called, chosen, and placed in this season of isolation for a purpose, even if you can't see it just yet. Every moment of silence, every closed door, every disconnect, none of it is random. It has all been leading you to this point where you will understand why God made you alone. And before we continue, make sure you like, subscribe, tap the bell icon, and share this with another chosen one who's been walking alone. Let me start by making one thing clear. The isolation you feel is not a punishment. It is not rejection. It is divine preparation. What you're going through right now, as difficult and painful as it may seem, is necessary for the transformation God is working in you. You see, God is not trying to hurt you. He's refining you. He's shaping you for something much greater than you could have ever imagined. When God made you alone, he wasn't abandoning you. He was setting you apart. There's a big difference. The world may tell you that solitude is a sign of being forgotten or cast aside, but heaven calls it sacred strategy. This season of silence, the stillness you feel, it is a sacred space where your spirit is being prepared for the calling on your life. You may not understand why everything around you feels so distant, or why it seems like people are fading away. But let me reassure you, God is not doing this to punish you. He is doing it to protect you. You see, he knows what you don't yet know. He knows what your future holds. And in order for you to step into that future with the strength and clarity you need, he must first remove all distractions. This space of isolation is where God works in your soul, clearing out all the noise that distracts you from hearing his voice. The friendships, the relationships, the comfort you once relied on, all of it had to fade away so that your ears could finally hear him clearly. The only voice you need to hear right now is his. And this silence you're experiencing is the perfect environment for God to speak directly into your life. When God isolates you, it is not to break you, it is to prepare you. He's refining your character. He's stripping away the layers of dependence on people, on validation, on comfort. Why? Because your next season requires you to rely entirely on him. God knows that if you continue to lean on people and things, you won't be able to carry the weight of the destiny he has for you. You were never meant to stay in this season of isolation forever. This is just the beginning of your transformation. Isolation has a purpose. It's where you find out who you truly are without the opinions of others clouding your judgment. It's in these quiet moments when you're alone with God that you start to understand your true identity. This isn't a punishment. It's a divine reset. God is resetting your life, clearing the old out of your soul so that he can fill you with his spirit, his vision, and his purpose. The peace you feel when you stand alone, this is the peace that comes from being aligned with heaven. It's the peace that will carry you through the storms of life. If you're still reading, your spirit knows that this message is for you. You're not reading this by chance. You were meant to hear this because your soul has been crying out for confirmation. You've been wondering, why am I alone? Why does it feel like I'm in this waiting room with no one by my side? And the answer is clear. God made you alone because he is preparing you for something extraordinary. The world won't always understand why you've been set apart. People may question your journey and the path you're walking, but the truth is they can't see what God is doing in you. They don't know the calling that has been placed on your life. You are not alone because you're abandoned. You are alone because you are being prepared. God has removed distractions to ensure that when the time comes, you will step into your purpose fully equipped, fully aware of your divine calling. This is a divine setup. Heaven is orchestrating everything behind the scenes. Everything you've walked through, the loneliness, the struggles, the doubts, they have all been part of a plan. A plan that is now ready to unfold in your life. And this message today is here to confirm that what you're experiencing is not an accident. You are chosen, you are set apart for a divine purpose, and it's time for you to step into that purpose. When you are called to walk alone, it often feels like the world has turned its back on you. In moments of solitude, it's easy to misinterpret this as rejection. You may feel abandoned, left to fend for yourself in a harsh, cold world, watching others around you thrive in the company of friends, family, and opportunities. There might be a sense of being overlooked or forgotten, as if God has cast you aside while everyone else seems to have everything they need to succeed. It's a common feeling in seasons of isolation when the world's noise fades and you're left standing alone. But I want you to understand this truth. This season of isolation is not about rejection. It is about preparation. Isolation, though uncomfortable, is not a punishment. God doesn't separate his chosen ones to cause them harm. He separates them to protect them, to shield them, and to allow them the space to grow. Imagine it like this. If you were surrounded by constant noise, distractions, and the pull of the world, could you truly hear God's voice? Could you distinguish his call in the midst of all the chatter and chaos? Could you still your heart enough to feel the whispers of his direction for your life? The answer is no. You would be too distracted to hear the very thing you need to hear most. In moments of isolation, God isn't removing people or opportunities from your life to hurt you. He is removing them to protect something precious that he has placed inside you. There is a divine seed within you, a purpose so sacred and unique that it requires protection until it's ready to grow and bear fruit. The noise, the distractions, and even the relationships that may have seemed essential to your life are being cleared away so that nothing can hinder the growth of your purpose. This time of being alone is not a curse, it's a process of refinement. You are being set apart because there is something valuable being cultivated within you, and God needs your full attention to nurture it. Consider isolation not as abandonment, but as a sacred strategy, one that aligns your spirit with God's ultimate purpose for you. Just as a gardener tends to a fragile plant, keeping it sheltered and protected from harsh elements until it is strong enough to withstand the outside world, God is sheltering you in this season of isolation. He is cultivating your spirit, deepening your faith, and refining your character so that when the time comes for you to step into your purpose, you will be fully equipped to thrive in the world. This time of separation is not to weaken you, but to fortify you. It's the quiet before the breakthrough, the moment when God prepares you for something extraordinary, something greater than you ever imagined. In isolation, you have the opportunity to reconnect with God at a deeper level. This season is meant to redirect your focus solely onto him. Without the distractions of others' opinions or the pull of worldly desires, you are left with nothing but your own thoughts, your prayers, and the stillness of God's presence. The world may seem distant, and relationships may seem far removed, but in truth, this distance is not to harm you. It is creating space for you to grow. Just as the gardener doesn't rush the plant's growth, but patiently waits for it to bloom in its own time, God is patiently waiting for you to grow into the person he created you to be. It's also during this period of isolation that you will come to understand something profound. Your purpose is not tied to the approval or recognition of others. So often, we look for validation in the opinions of others, seeking approval or affirmation to guide our choices. We may feel lost or unsure of ourselves when we don't have others around to encourage us or tell us that we're on the right path. But this journey you are on is deeply personal, uniquely aligned with God's will for your life, and it's not something that can be measured by the applause of others. While others may walk their paths with crowds, in the safety of familiar faces and predictable patterns, you have been called to walk alone not as a punishment, but as part of God's divine strategy. God's purpose for you is so unique that it requires a specific kind of solitude to allow it to develop. Walking alone is part of your preparation. It is the process of strengthening your spirit, honing your purpose, and refining your character. In the quiet, you are being shaped into someone who will stand firm, not swayed by the opinions or expectations of others, but rooted in God's calling and truth. Isolation allows you to build a deeper trust in God. It is in the absence of external voices that you begin to hear God more clearly. You start to trust His voice more than the voices of others. You begin to understand that His presence is enough, that His approval is enough. It may feel difficult at times, and you may long for the comfort of companionship or reassurance, but God is asking you to trust Him. He is your refuge, your guide, and your strength. This isolation has not been about turning your back on the world, but about preparing you to step into it when the time is right, equipped, and ready. You are learning to stand firm in who you are, not because of the validation from others, but because you know who you are in Christ. You are learning to depend on God alone, and it is through this dependence that you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Through this time of solitude, you have been made ready to step into your calling with absolute confidence. The quiet moments, though they may have seemed endless at times, were the moments God used to prepare you for what's to come. Your calling is greater than any human relationship or approval. It is a divine calling, written before you were even born. Isolation is a sacred strategy that will lead to your elevation. You are being prepared for something powerful, something extraordinary. The silence you've walked through is the foundation that will support the structure of your calling. Without the foundation of trust, discernment, and spiritual strength, you wouldn't be able to carry the weight of your divine purpose. God has not abandoned you. He has not forgotten you. He has set you apart because there is something magnificent within you that He is cultivating in this moment. You are not walking through this season alone. God is with you, guiding you, and refining you. Embrace this time of isolation because it is a sacred opportunity to become the person God has called you to be, strong, grounded, and ready to step into your divine purpose. The time of preparation is over, and the time to step into your calling is coming. When you emerge from this season of isolation, you will not be the same. You will be stronger, more focused, and more aligned with God's purpose for your life. The world is waiting for you to step forward, and you are ready. So walk boldly. Trust that God's strategy has been working in your favor. What once felt like rejection was actually a divine setup for your promotion. Your purpose is about to unfold in ways you could never have imagined. God is positioning you for greatness, and this season of isolation was just the beginning. Embrace it, trust it, and get ready for what's next. The best is yet to come. In the quiet moments of life, when it feels like nothing is happening, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing you've been forgotten. You may look around and see others moving forward, making strides and seeming to thrive in the noise and hustle of the world. Meanwhile, you feel as though you're stuck, enveloped by silence and solitude. You might even start to question whether anything is truly changing beneath the surface, whether all the waiting and stillness is for nothing. But what if I told you that this silence, this solitude, is exactly where the spiritual clarity you've been seeking is being birthed? This sacred stillness, though it feels empty, is actually a vessel of transformation. It's in this time of quiet, when the distractions of the world fade away, that your spiritual ears begin to tune into a frequency you've never heard before. You begin to hear God's voice with greater clarity. You begin to understand that this period of isolation was not meant to harm you. It was designed to help you see and understand your divine purpose. Think for a moment about the world around you. Every day, you're bombarded with notifications, calls, emails, social media posts, and endless distractions that pull your attention in 1,000 directions. In this noise, it's nearly impossible to find clarity. In fact, this constant flow of information often clouds your judgment, obscures your vision, and leaves you wondering which direction to go next. But when everything falls away, when the phone stops ringing, when the emails stop coming, and when the people you've leaned on for validation become distant, something incredible happens. It may seem like you've been left alone, as though the world has abandoned you. But in reality, this is the moment when everything begins to come into focus. You see, the distractions that once crowded your mind, the noise of the world, the expectations of others, and even your own desires have faded into the background. And in that space, you are finally able to hear God's voice without interference. The clamor of the world no longer drowns out the subtle whisper of divine wisdom. In the silence, You begin to discern the still, small voice of God guiding you. This clarity, this newfound understanding of your purpose, will not come when your life is full of chaos. It will not arrive in the rush of activity and noise. It will come when you are still enough to receive it, when you have created space for it to enter. And this is why the silence you are experiencing right now is not something to fear. It is not an indication that you've been forgotten. It is a necessary space for God to reveal what is next for you. The key to understanding the purpose of this time is to shift your perspective. Isolation isn't just about being alone. It's about being present with God. This is where the transformation happens. In this solitude, you are no longer distracted by the voices of others. You no longer seek comfort in the opinions of the people around you. Instead, you turn inward. You lean into the quiet, and you begin to listen to what God is saying. In this quiet, your spiritual ears become sharper. Your discernment grows, and you begin to recognize the voice of God amidst the noise. He speaks to you in ways that are gentle but profound, guiding you toward your divine purpose. In the silence, the fog lifts. You begin to see clearly. The path He has set before you becomes visible. What once seemed like confusion and uncertainty begins to take shape. This is the divine clarity you've been waiting for. It's often tempting to look around at others and compare your journey to theirs. You see them surrounded by people, surrounded by noise, seemingly moving forward with ease. But the truth is, clarity cannot be found in the noise. It cannot be found in the hustle and bustle of life. Spiritual clarity can only come from being still, from creating space for God to speak directly into your heart. And that is what isolation is doing for you right now. In today's world, it's easy to become addicted to external validation. We seek clarity from the opinions of others, from the guidance of our friends and family, and from the ever-present voices of social media and the media. We look to others to tell us what to do, where to go, and who we should be. But spiritual clarity cannot be found in these external sources. The truth is, the clarity you seek will not come from the world. It will come only when you step into solitude and seek God. God wants to align your thoughts, desires, and intentions with His will, but for that to happen, you must be still enough to listen. In the silence, He has the freedom to speak directly to your heart, to guide you in the direction He has chosen for you. God doesn't need the chaos of the world to communicate His will to you. In fact, the chaos of the world often distracts you from His voice. But when the noise fades, when the distractions vanish, you begin to hear His voice clearly and unmistakably. This is why isolation isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity to step into divine alignment. It's a chance for God to remove everything that might cloud your judgment or distract you from His plan. It's in these moments of solitude that He speaks the loudest. He speaks through your thoughts, through quiet moments, through dreams, through intuition. He speaks in gentle whispers that, when listened to with an open heart, lead you to the clarity you've been searching for. It's easy to become frustrated with the silence, especially when it feels like nothing is happening. But what if I told you that God speaks the loudest in the stillness? When everything around you is silent, He has your full attention. You are not distracted by the demands of life. You are not swayed by the opinions of others. You are focused on God, and that is when He can do His deepest work. In the stillness of isolation, God works on your heart. He purges you of distractions, and He aligns your spirit with His will. This is where the transformation happens. The world cannot give you the wisdom and clarity you need for the journey ahead. Only God can, and He speaks to you in the quiet, when you can hear Him clearly without distraction. This is why isolation is such a precious gift. It's not something to be feared or resisted. It's a divine opportunity to hear from God without interference. It's in the silence that God shapes you into the person He created you to be, free from the noise of the world. And as you listen, you will begin to understand your true purpose, your calling, and the path He has set before you. As you sit in this silence, embrace it. Don't fight it. God is creating space for you, space where your soul can rest, where your heart can heal, and where your spirit can be realigned with His. In this space, you are being refined. You are being prepared. The transformation happening within you may not be visible yet, but it is happening nonetheless. The stillness you are experiencing is not empty, it is sacred. It is the birthplace of clarity. In the moments of silence, allow yourself to breathe deeply and trust. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, aligning everything for your good. Your purpose will be revealed, your path will be made clear, and when the time is right, He will send you out into the world ready, equipped, and prepared to walk in the divine purpose He has for you. Remember, you are not alone in this. God is with you, guiding you through every moment of silence, every season of solitude. And in this sacred space, you will find the clarity you've been longing for. The quiet is not empty. It is full of purpose, full of potential, full of divine wisdom. When you embrace it, you will hear God's voice more clearly, and you will see your path unfolding before you. If you're wondering whether you are the only one who has to walk through a season of isolation, let me remind you of some of the greatest leaders in the Bible who also experienced isolation before stepping into their purpose. These leaders didn't step into their calling with the crowd cheering them on. They first had to face seasons of solitude, in the desert, in the wilderness, and in the quiet spaces where God could mold and refine them. Take Moses, for example. Before Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, he spent 40 years in the wilderness alone. It was in this isolation that Moses was prepared for the monumental task of freeing an entire nation. God didn't call Moses to lead from a place of comfort or popularity. He called him from the quiet of the wilderness, away from the distractions of Egypt, where Moses could hear his voice clearly. It was in the desert that Moses learned to rely on God's guidance and developed the courage to confront Pharaoh and lead God's people. Then there's Elijah, the prophet who was often found in solitude. In 1 Kings 19, Elijah experienced God's voice, not in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire, but in a gentle whisper. It was in his solitude, in the wilderness, that Elijah's greatest moments of spiritual clarity and divine power took place. Elijah's isolation wasn't a punishment. It was preparation for the prophetic work he would do. And of course, there is Jesus. Before Jesus began his public ministry, he spent 40 days and nights in the wilderness, fasting and praying. It was in this isolation that Jesus prepared for the trials and temptations that lay ahead. During these 40 days, he wasn't just physically fasting. He was spiritually equipping himself for the battle he would face on earth. The wilderness was not an accident. It was divine preparation. These biblical figures were not abandoned in their isolation. They were being shaped for something far greater. Moses, Elijah, and Jesus all had to endure seasons of silence and solitude in order to hear God's voice and receive his instruction. It was in these quiet places that they found their divine purpose and were equipped for the challenges that lay ahead. Isolation is not punishment. It is the means by which God prepares his chosen ones for greatness. If you feel like you are in your own wilderness right now, know that you are not alone. You are being prepared, just as these great leaders were prepared. You are walking a path that is uniquely yours, one that requires separation and stillness so that you can hear God's voice clearly and step into the purpose he has for you. Just as Moses, Elijah, and Jesus found strength and purpose in the wilderness, you too are being shaped in the solitude you are experiencing. In the midst of the silence, it can be easy to feel as though everything around you is falling apart. You might wonder why people who once played important roles in your life have distanced themselves. You might find yourself alone, perhaps more alone than you've ever been, and the absence of others could be deafening. Yet, in this very isolation, God is speaking. The relationships that have ended, the connections that have faded, are not signs of rejection. They are part of God's divine redirection. What feels like abandonment is actually the hand of God guiding you toward the path he has always meant for you to walk. There's a profound truth that many are reluctant to admit. Some relationships cannot go with you where God is taking you. As you embark on your journey of transformation, certain people, no matter how close they once were, will not be able to handle the elevation that's happening inside of you. The spiritual growth and the shifts you are undergoing are leading you to a higher place, a place where those who were once part of your life no longer fit into your new narrative. These separations, no matter how painful, are part of God's divine strategy for your life. In isolation, you might have felt like you've been rejected, but the truth is that you were being protected. When you're walking through a season of transformation, you cannot afford to have people around you who do not understand or cannot support the new version of you. God removes them from your life, not to hurt you, but to protect the growth he's planting within you. The people who were once part of your story had to fade into the background because they were not equipped for the level of responsibility that God is calling you to. This separation isn't punishment, it's purification. You see, as you evolve and grow, not everyone will be able to handle the new you. Some people, who may have been supportive at one point, may have found themselves disconnected from you, not because of anything you did, but because they were not meant to go with you into your next season. You can no longer walk at the pace of those who are unable to see the calling on your life. Some people are simply meant to be part of your past, not your future. And while it can be difficult, understand that God is divinely redirecting you, placing you on a path where you are no longer held back by attachments that no longer serve your purpose. As you embrace this time of solitude, know that this is a space of preparation. The people who have drifted away from your life were not taken from you. They were removed by God to make space for those who will align with your future. Your life is being purified in this season, and it's all part of a greater plan. The people who left were simply unable to keep up with the elevation that's happening within you. As painful as it may be, understand that this divine redirection is positioning you for greatness. It's not about them, it's about God preparing you for what lies ahead. In the quiet moments of isolation, you are not only being prepared for greater things, you are also being healed. The absence of distractions, the lack of outside noise, allows you to face the very things that have been hidden deep within you. This season of solitude is your opportunity to heal from past wounds, to confront your fears and doubts, and to overcome the emotional baggage that has been holding you back. This time is necessary for spiritual rejuvenation. In the absence of others, you've been able to reflect on your past, to dig into the places in your heart that you've long avoided. Maybe you've had to confront fears you didn't even know you had. Maybe there are old wounds, betrayals, heartbreaks, regrets that have resurfaced, demanding your attention. This season has allowed you the space to process these emotions, to heal from them, and to move forward. You are not stagnant at this moment. You are being made whole. This time of isolation is not just about being alone, it's about being alone with God. You are walking through a process of inner healing, where God is tending to your spirit, mending the broken pieces, and filling the empty spaces with His presence. This is where God is dealing with the things that would have hindered your future if they remained unresolved. He's healing your heart, restoring your soul, and setting you free from the emotional burdens that have weighed you down. Healing is a process, one that cannot be rushed. In isolation, you are allowed to take the time you need to work through past hurts, to let go of bitterness, and to embrace forgiveness first for yourself and then for others. In these sacred moments of solitude, you are being prepared emotionally and spiritually for the next chapter of your life. It's important to remember that this healing process is not always comfortable. There will be moments of discomfort, moments when you confront the deepest parts of yourself that you've been avoiding for years. But it's all part of the growth that God is leading you through. Growth often comes through pain, but it is in that pain that you discover your true strength. You discover your resilience, and you realize that even in the darkest moments, you have always been held by God's loving hands. In the silence of isolation, something supernatural begins to unfold. You may begin to experience encounters with the divine, moments of divine visitation, angelic encounters, vivid dreams, and a deep sense of peace that transcends your circumstances. These experiences are not coincidences. They are signs that God is near, that He is walking with you through this sacred season of transformation. You may have experienced angelic visitations, moments when you felt a sense of divine protection, when you knew without a doubt that heaven was watching over you. You may have had dreams that were so vivid, so clear, that you woke up knowing that God was speaking directly to your spirit. These dreams were not random. They were prophetic in nature, guiding you toward your divine purpose. In this quiet season, God speaks in ways that are subtle but profound. He doesn't need a loud, boisterous crowd to communicate with you. He speaks in dreams, in moments of stillness, in that quiet voice that whispers truths to your heart. You may have felt an overwhelming peace that seemed to come out of nowhere, or perhaps you've experienced a deep sense of angelic protection, a shield that you can't explain but know is there, guarding you from harm. These experiences, though they may seem simple, are profound reminders that God is actively at work in your life. He is drawing near to you in ways that you could not have experienced if you were surrounded by the noise of the world. These spiritual encounters are proof that God is near, even when the world seems silent. They are the signs that God is shaping you, protecting you, and guiding you towards your destiny. The silence you're experiencing is not emptiness. It is full of divine presence. God is speaking to you, guiding you, and showing you glimpses of what's to come. These angelic visitations and vivid dreams are like pieces of a divine puzzle, showing you that even in this season of waiting, God has not forgotten you. In this time, you may also experience moments of deep spiritual peace, a sense of calm that comes over you, even in the midst of uncertainty. This peace is a reminder that you are exactly where you need to be, that God is in control, and that He is working behind the scenes on your behalf. The peace that passes understanding is a sign that you are walking in alignment with God's plan for your life, and that even in the silence, you are not alone. When the world seems silent, and the familiar faces that once filled your life have slowly drifted away, you may feel as if you are standing alone in a vast, empty space. The phone calls stop, the familiar voices fall silent, and the once constant connections fade into the background. It's easy to interpret this isolation as a form of abandonment, a sign that you've been forgotten, discarded, or left behind. But let me remind you, in this very moment, God is working the most. This divine separation is not punishment, it is purpose. God, in His infinite wisdom, is removing distractions from your life to prepare you for something greater. While it may feel like you're being left behind, the truth is that you are being hidden for a season, hidden not from the world, but hidden with God. You are in a sacred place of preparation. In this season, God is refining you. He is healing parts of you that have been broken, hurting, or ignored. He is revealing to you your true identity, who you are when no one else is around, when there are no distractions, when it is just you and Him. This isolation, however difficult it may seem, is not an accident. It is part of God's divine plan to align everything around you so that when the time comes, you will step into your calling with clarity, strength, and divine purpose. The people who have distanced themselves, the relationships that have fallen away, and the connections that have dissolved these are not losses. They are gains in the grand design of your life. God is protecting your future by making sure you are surrounded only by the people who will support your divine calling. This is not a rejection of who you are. It's a protection of what is to come. You see, as you grow, there will be people who cannot handle the new version of you. There will be relationships that no longer align with your journey. And as hard as it may be to accept, not everyone who was with you in the past is meant to walk with you into your future. God knows this. He understands that in order for you to grow into the person He has created you to be, some relationships must fade and others must be severed. This isn't about losing friends or family. It's about gaining clarity. God needs you to be free of distractions. In order to fully embrace your divine purpose, He needs you to be surrounded only by those who are aligned with that purpose. And sometimes those people just aren't ready, or they aren't meant to stay. The people who are part of your next chapter will find their way to you in God's perfect timing. Sometimes the best way to protect the seed of purpose within you is by ensuring that it grows in quiet soil. When you're constantly surrounded by noise, expectations, and the opinions of others, it can become easy to lose sight of the truth of who you are. Isolation creates space for truth to take root. God has chosen this time to shield you from the things that could distract or derail you from the greatness He has planned for you. What feels like loneliness or rejection is actually divine redirection. God is aligning your path in ways that only He can see. You are being prepared for a season of greater purpose. But first, you must go through this phase of separation. God's plan is unfolding quietly and steadily. And while it may not make sense right now, in the future, you will look back and see that every moment of solitude, every lost connection, every fading relationship was part of God's divine plan for you. This is a time for growth in understanding, growth in wisdom, and growth in faith. God is preparing you to step into a new season of your life, but in order to do that, you first must become the person who can carry the mantle of your calling. This requires purification, healing, and the removal of all that is no longer serving your divine purpose. As you stand in the quiet, God is teaching you to depend on Him completely. He is showing you that His presence is enough. The loneliness you may feel is simply an invitation to lean into Him, to recognize that His companionship is greater than any human relationship could ever be. You are not meant to find your worth in the approval of others, but in the divine affirmation that comes from God alone. In this season of separation, embrace the healing that is happening within you. It's a time to face your deepest fears, release old wounds, and allow God to restore you to your true identity. Healing takes time, and in this time of separation, you are being given the space to heal fully. You might have experienced deep hurts in your past rejections, betrayals, losses that have left scars on your heart. The pain of these wounds may have followed you, even into your isolation. But God is not allowing this time to pass without purpose. He is using this quiet season to bring healing to those wounds. It's as if He's taking each one and gently ministering to it, stitching it back together with His love and grace. God's healing isn't just physical, it's spiritual and emotional too. As you spend time in isolation, you may find yourself confronting things you've buried deep within. You may face emotions you've tried to avoid or neglected for far too long, but this is necessary. Without confronting these wounds, you would never be able to move forward into your calling with the fullness of who you are. God is purging the old so that the new can come forth. He is making space for your next season, a season of healing, peace, and fulfillment. Embrace the transformation that is happening. Embrace the discomfort. This time of solitude is molding you into the person you need to become. Through this separation, God is making you whole, preparing you for the magnificent calling He has in store for you. Even in the silence, God is near. Isolation does not mean abandonment, it means protection. And in the quiet, divine encounters begin to unfold. You may have begun experiencing moments that can only be described as supernatural, vivid dreams, angelic visitations, and a sense of peace that seems to come from nowhere. These are signs that God is with you in the quiet. He is using this time of separation to draw closer to you than ever before. In the absence of external distractions, your spiritual sensitivity grows. You begin to sense His presence more clearly, whether through quiet whispers, divine revelations, or a growing sense of peace that covers you like a warm blanket. Angelic visitations may come in moments when you least expect them, when you are sitting in stillness or lying in bed at night. You may feel a sudden warmth or a sense of being watched over. This is divine protection at work, showing you that you are not truly alone. Even in this season of solitude, God's angels are watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you. Dreams, too, are a key part of these supernatural experiences. You may find that your dreams are more vivid than ever before. You might wake up with a sense of spiritual clarity, knowing that God is speaking to you in the quiet of your sleep. These dreams are not just random, they are divine instructions, glimpses into the future God has planned for you. As you embrace the healing, the supernatural encounters, and the divine redirection, know that this season of separation is not wasted time. It is part of God's perfect plan for your life. He is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. The people who have left, the relationships that have dissolved, were all part of God's divine strategy. You are being shaped, refined, and purified in the solitude. God is making sure that when you step into your calling, you do so with clarity, strength, and wisdom. The process is uncomfortable, but it is necessary for the greatness that lies ahead. So, trust the process. Trust that every moment of silence, every empty space, is part of God's divine plan for you. He is with you, even when it feels like you're walking alone. When the time comes, you will see that the separations, the healing, and the supernatural encounters were all leading you to your divine destiny. Keep walking in faith, keep trusting His timing, and know that the best is yet to come. As the silence begins to fade, as the isolation that once felt so profound starts to shift, you may feel the stirring of something new, something deeper within you. You may begin to sense that your solitude was never meant to be permanent, that it was simply a sacred interlude, a period of preparation for what God has been orchestrating behind the scenes. This moment is the shift from solitude to divine reunion. It is the time when everything you have learned, every lesson you've absorbed, and every seed of wisdom you've planted in the quiet is beginning to bear fruit. The isolation has been a space of awakening, a place where you are not just alone, but where you are spiritually awakened. This is where your divine calling begins to emerge, and you start to understand the purpose behind everything you've been through. The journey you've endured through isolation was not without its purpose. Although in the midst of your solitude, it may have felt like you were lost or forgotten, the truth is that this season was necessary for your spiritual awakening. The silence, though at times deafening, was not a void but fertile ground where your faith could grow deeper. You may not have understood it at the time, but every moment of quiet was part of the process of awakening. an awakening that would lead you to a clearer, deeper understanding of yourself and your divine calling. In isolation, you were taught the art of deep trust. Trust in God, trust in His timing, and trust in His plan. This period of separation, which may have felt like abandonment, was actually the sacred space where you were learning to lean into God more fully. It was here, in your moments of solitude, that your relationship with God flourished. With no distractions and no voices pulling at your attention, you had no choice but to turn inward and rely on His presence. In the silence, God's voice became clearer, more distinct than ever before. And with each moment you spent listening, your faith deepened and your trust in His divine guidance grew. This was not just about being alone. It was about learning to hear God's voice above the noise of the world. Before, the distractions of everyday life might have clouded your perception. The opinions of others, the demands of the world, and the chaos of daily living made it difficult to discern the gentle whispers of God. But now, in the stillness, those distractions have been removed, and you have learned to recognize God's voice with clarity. Your discernment has become sharper, and you can now distinguish the divine whispers from the noise that once drowned them out. You are no longer swayed by the fleeting opinions of others or the uncertainty that once clouded your path. The silence you've endured was not emptiness, it was preparation. It was during this time of separation that your spiritual awareness has been heightened. You were not just walking through a physical isolation, you were being spiritually attuned to the voice of God. Now, more than ever, you can clearly hear His guidance, feel His presence, and follow His lead. You are walking with prophetic clarity, aware of the path He has set before you. This season of isolation has transformed your perception of your own purpose. The clarity that has emerged is not just mental, it is deeply spiritual. You now see beyond the present moment. You can look back at your life and recognize the patterns that were always leading you to this point. The pieces of your life, which once seemed like random fragments, are now coming together in a beautiful, divine puzzle. You can see how God has been orchestrating each moment, every challenge, every quiet moment to align you with your calling. The purpose of your isolation was not only to teach you patience, but also to prepare you for prophetic vision. The divine clarity you now experience is a gift from God. He has been speaking to you during your quiet times, revealing things about your future, your purpose, and the deeper meaning of your life. This clarity is spiritual, not just intellectual. You now walk with a sense of purpose, knowing exactly where you're headed and why. The fog has lifted and the path is clear. You are stepping into a new season, a season of heightened spiritual awareness. You are now walking in prophetic vision, understanding not only where you've been, but where you are going. This vision is the result of your spiritual awakening. It's not just about faith anymore. It's about knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are aligned with God's plan. The trials and the silence, the seasons of waiting and separation, they were all part of God's divine strategy. He used this time to awaken you to the truth of who you are, to the purpose He has placed in you, and to the calling you were always meant to fulfill. Now, you can look back and see how far you've come. You have gained clarity about your divine purpose, and you are no longer wandering in confusion. You've walked through the wilderness, and now you are emerging from it, not just with a deeper faith, but with prophetic insight. Your relationship with God has grown more intimate, and His voice has become clearer, guiding you every step of the way. You are no longer just walking in faith. You are walking in prophetic vision, with your eyes open to the future God has prepared for you. This prophetic clarity is the result of your spiritual awakening. It's the gift of seeing the unseen, understanding the deeper layers of God's plan for your life, and knowing that every step you take is in alignment with His will. No longer will you wander through life unsure of your purpose. You are now equipped to step into the fullness of your calling with clear vision and a heart full of trust in God's direction. It's important to recognize that this clarity is not just about seeing the future. It's about recognizing the divine timing at work in your life. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are now fully aware that everything has been happening exactly as it was meant to. Your spiritual awakening has opened your eyes to the divine timing that has been unfolding behind the scenes. What once seemed like delays or missed opportunities now makes sense. You are being prepared, and now you are stepping into a season of fulfillment, a season where everything aligns perfectly with God's will. Your trust in God has deepened through this process. You've learned to lean on Him completely, knowing that His timing is always perfect. In the quiet, you have discovered the peace that comes from fully trusting in God's plan. No more anxiety, no more rushing. You understand that God is always on time. Your prophetic clarity allows you to see that every moment of silence, every season of waiting, was necessary for your growth. You are now walking in the fullness of that growth, prepared for what is ahead. As you step forward in faith, carry this prophetic clarity with you. Know that you are walking in divine timing, and the future you've been dreaming of is now within your reach. The trials you faced, the loneliness you endured, the isolation that felt so unbearable at times, they were all part of God's process to open your eyes and your heart. You are now ready to walk boldly into your purpose, with a heart full of trust and a spirit attuned to God's will. In this new season, you are not just stepping forward with faith, you are stepping forward with prophetic vision. You have been prepared to walk into the fullness of your calling, knowing exactly what God has placed within you. You are equipped, empowered, and ready to shine. This clarity, this prophetic insight, is the key to unlocking the next chapter of your journey. Embrace it, trust it, and let it guide you into all that God has planned for you. As you reflect on the time spent in solitude, it may have felt like a time of vulnerability, but in truth, you have been surrounded by divine protection in ways you couldn't see. During this period of isolation, you were not abandoned. Rather, you were safeguarded by God in ways that only He could orchestrate. The challenges you faced in the quiet were not accidents. They were part of the divine protection plan that God had set in motion. God's hand has been upon you the entire time, guiding you and shielding you from harm. You may not have been able to see the unseen dangers that loomed around you, but God did. You were guarded by angels, protected from the very things that could have harmed you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. There were moments when you were at your weakest, and yet God sent His angels to surround you, to guide you through your darkest hours. He kept you safe from the traps that were laid out before you, traps that you might not have even been aware of. You may have even experienced moments when you felt an overwhelming sense of peace, a peace that transcended all understanding. In the midst of the chaos, when everything around you seemed uncertain, that peace was a sign that God was there with you, quietly ensuring that you were safe and sound. Every moment that you thought you were alone, God was near, orchestrating divine protection and leading you through unseen battles. The silence of isolation did not mean God was absent. It meant He was shielding you, preparing you for the next phase of your journey. And now, as you move from solitude into reunion, you will realize that the protection you've received has built a foundation that will carry you into your destiny with confidence. You are being safeguarded not just from external harm, but from internal distractions that could have kept you from walking in the fullness of your calling. God's protection was not only external, it was a process of inner safeguarding. He was preparing you to walk in your destiny with strength and resilience, knowing that His hand is always upon you. This period of separation, this sacred solitude, was never meant to last forever. It was meant to prepare you for something much greater. And now that the time of preparation has completed its work, you are about to step into the fullness of your calling. You are now ready to fulfill the purpose for which you were born, with the wisdom, strength, and clarity that have been cultivated in the quiet. The transformation that you've undergone in isolation has not been for nothing. You are now equipped with everything you need to step into your purpose. The doubts that once held you back, the insecurities that kept you chained to the past, the fears that clouded your mind, they have all been dealt with during this time. And now, as you prepare to step into the next phase of your journey, you can do so with the confidence that you have been shaped for this very moment. You may not have understood it in the midst of your solitude, but now you see. The challenges you faced, the relationships that shifted, the moments of loneliness, they were all part of God's preparation process. He was working behind the scenes, setting the stage for your purpose to be revealed in its fullest form. God was removing distractions, realigning your path, and strengthening your foundation so that you could step into your calling with greatness. You are now equipped with a deeper trust in God, a sharper discernment, and a sense of spiritual clarity that you never had before. You have learned to lean on God, to hear His voice, and to trust in His guidance without hesitation. You have been prepared spiritually, and now you are ready to step into the destiny that God has for you. equipped with everything you need to fulfill it. As you step forward, remember this truth. You are not the same person who entered this season of solitude. You are stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your divine purpose than ever before. Your journey has only just begun, and you are about to enter into a season of divine fulfillment where everything you've been through will come to fruition. As the silence of isolation begins to lift and the time of divine reunion unfolds, you may notice that the world around you is starting to change in ways you never imagined. The people you've been waiting for, those who will walk beside you in this next season of your life, are starting to enter your world. The opportunities that once seemed distant, like they were always just beyond your reach, are now within your grasp. The long wait, the solitude, and the quiet preparation were not in vain. The divine reunion is here. This moment is not just about reconnecting with others, it is about reuniting with the person you were always meant to become. You've walked through a season of refinement, a season where God shaped you in ways you may not have fully understood at the time. Each experience, each moment of separation, and each quiet season led you to this point. The transformation that you've gone through has prepared you to step into your true calling with strength, clarity, and purpose. Now, as you step into your calling, something beautiful happens. Everything aligns. The connections you've waited for are coming into your life, and the opportunities that once felt out of reach are now appearing at just the right time. This is no coincidence. It is divine timing at work, and everything that has transpired in your life has brought you to this pivotal moment. You are now stepping into the divine purpose that was written over your life before time began. The silence, the isolation, and the waiting were not signs of abandonment. They were the soil in which God was planting the seeds of your destiny. You've been prepared in ways you couldn't have fully understood at the time, but now you are beginning to see the fruit of all the lessons learned in solitude. You have been made ready, and now you are standing on the threshold of everything you were meant to do and become. The divine reunion is not just about stepping into your purpose, but about embracing the journey that has led you to this moment. Embrace the moment, chosen one. This is the moment you've been waiting for, and it has been beautifully designed by God. The silence you endured, the solitude you navigated, and the separations you faced were all part of a larger plan, a plan that led you to this divine reunion. Every moment of waiting has been a preparation, and now it is time for you to step forward into the life God has been preparing for you. When you reflect on this journey, you may see how everything that seemed difficult or even painful in the past now makes perfect sense. God has used every challenge, every delay, and every moment of quiet to refine you, to strengthen you, and to guide you toward a place of fulfillment. Everything you've been through has prepared you for this divine reunion. Now, the time has come for you to step boldly into your destiny. The reunion is not just about meeting others. It is about reuniting with your higher self, the person that God has been shaping you to become. You may have wondered at times whether you were moving forward or stuck in one place. But now you will realize that every step, every moment of stillness was a step toward becoming who you were always meant to be. You are stronger, wiser, and more aligned than ever before. And this is the moment to embrace that truth. As you step into the divine reunion, you will begin to see how everything starts to fall into place. The people you were meant to meet are coming into your life. These are the people who will walk alongside you, share your vision, and help you fulfill your purpose. They will recognize your light, your calling, and your potential. The relationships you've been waiting for will come to fruition, and you will find yourself surrounded by people who see you for who you truly are. Likewise, the opportunities you've been dreaming of will begin to unfold before you. What once seemed impossible will now be possible. What once felt out of reach will be placed directly in your path. This is the moment where you stop waiting and start walking confidently into the future that God has been preparing for you. The divine reunion is a moment of alignment when everything that was meant for you comes together effortlessly. But the divine reunion is not just about what is coming into your life. It's also about what you've learned and how you've grown. It's about celebrating the transformation that has taken place within you. The person you were when you entered this season is not the same person you are now. You have been refined. You have been healed. You have been made ready. And now you are stepping into your destiny with a deeper understanding of who you are and who you are called to be. This is the shift. The waiting is over. and the shift has begun. The time for you to step forward in faith, confidence, and purpose is now. No longer will you hide in the shadows of doubt or fear. You have been equipped, strengthened, and prepared to walk into your destiny. You are no longer who you were before. You are new, empowered, and ready to fulfill the purpose that has been placed on your life. God has been preparing you in ways you couldn't have fully understood in the moment. Every moment of silence, every challenge, and every step forward has led you to this divine reunion. The people, the opportunities, and the purpose that are now coming into your life are all part of God's perfect plan for you. This is the season of your divine reunion, and you are ready to step into the fullness of what God has always had in mind for you. As you embrace this moment, remember that God's plan is perfect. He has brought you to this point with intention, with love, and with purpose. The isolation you experienced wasn't for nothing. It was to refine you, to purify you, and to position you for the incredible purpose that lies ahead. And now, you are walking into the season of your divine reunion where everything is coming together for your good. Embrace the reunion, chosen one. Step forward with confidence, knowing that you are equipped for the calling ahead. The journey you have walked has led you here. You are ready to step into your purpose, and the divine reunion is the culmination of all that God has been doing in your life. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The time for you to shine, to walk boldly, and to fulfill your purpose has arrived. Welcome to the next phase of your journey. Welcome to the divine reunion. The waiting is over. The shift has begun. You are ready to step into your destiny. The time of isolation you've endured, the long silence where it felt like you were walking through the wilderness, is coming to an end. The shift is happening. The season of solitude that was so full of growth, struggle, and unseen preparation is now giving way to something new. A new season is dawning for you. This season will not be marked by silence, but by reunion, connection, and alignment with your true purpose. You are stepping into the fullness of what God has been preparing for you. The divine reunion is not only a reunion with others, but a reunion with your true self, the person God always intended you to be. The shift is not just external, it is within you. For so long, you have been walking in silence, facing battles that no one else could see. You have had moments when you doubted whether anything was changing, wondering if the pain and solitude would ever end. But now, the quiet is breaking. The doors that once seemed closed are starting to open. The people who were meant to be in your life, the opportunities you were destined for, and the purpose you were always meant to fulfill are starting to come into alignment. You are about to enter a new season, a season of divine reunion. It's the moment when everything you've been through, all the hardships, all the loneliness, all the lessons, suddenly come into focus. You may not have understood it at the time, but each part of your journey was essential for getting you to this moment. Now, as the silence fades, you are about to witness the full manifestation of your destiny. This new season is not about just stepping into a new chapter of life. It's about stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The isolation you faced was the training ground, the spiritual boot camp that was refining your character, your discernment, and your faith. But now, the training is over. You have learned the lessons, you have grown, and you are now equipped to handle the blessings and challenges that will come in this new season. As you shift into this new season, know this. Your isolation was never meant to break you, but to refine you. It wasn't a time of punishment or abandonment, but a time of preparation for something greater. God separated you from distractions, people, and situations that were not aligned with your purpose, because He had to ensure that you were ready for what's coming next. The divine reunion is not just a reunion with others, it is a reunion with the person God created you to be. During your time in isolation, you were being shaped, molded, and refined for this moment. The person you are now is the person who can step into their divine calling with strength, wisdom, and clarity. You have been through the fire, but now the refining process is complete. You are stronger, wiser, and more grounded in your faith than ever before. This is the moment where everything you have been learning will begin to bear fruit. The divine reunion is also about the people who will soon come into your life, people who truly see you for who you are, who recognize the light that has been cultivated in you during this season of preparation. The right people are about to enter your life. These are not people who will hinder your progress, but those who will help elevate you to the next level. These are people who will see your calling, who will understand your purpose, and who will walk alongside you as you fulfill your divine mission. Opportunities will align effortlessly now that you are walking in alignment with God's will. What once felt like a struggle finding the right connections, the right opportunities, the right path is now flowing in divine order. You will find that the doors that once felt locked are now wide open, and the people who will support you in your journey will begin to surround you. You are no longer walking in isolation, you are stepping into divine partnership. As you step into this new season, it's important to remember that your purpose has always been about more than just you. The journey of isolation, the refining, the struggles, and the silence were never solely about your personal growth, although that was essential. No, you were always meant to be a vessel of light, and now that light is ready to shine. It's time for you to embrace the fullness of your calling and step into the mission God has prepared you for. This is the season when your light, once nurtured in solitude, is meant to radiate into the world. Your purpose has always been greater than personal fulfillment. From the beginning, God called you to more than self-satisfaction. He called you to become a beacon for others, guiding them through their own darkness and showing them the path toward their own light. The wisdom you've gained, the strength you found in isolation, and the clarity that emerged from your silence have all equipped you for something far beyond your own journey. You are meant to share everything you've learned with the world. For a time, the focus was on your personal refinement, but that time has passed.
You are no longer in the phase of self-building. The mission is clear now. You are here to help others find their way, to shine in the lives of those who are still wandering in darkness. The world needs the light you've cultivated through your struggles, your silence, and your solitude. It's time for you to share your story, your wisdom, and the light of God that has been hidden within you. Your calling is to help others step into their own purpose, just as you have stepped into yours.
The person you are now is a living example of what it means to walk in faith, to trust God's plan, and to step into your calling even when the path ahead is unclear. It wasn't easy to get here. You walked through the wilderness, faced the solitude, and endured the silence. But now you are stepping into a season of fruitfulness. The time of isolation has served its purpose. It's time to give what you've gained to the world. You were never meant to blend in. Your journey wasn't about fitting in with the crowd or being comfortable in the familiar. You were made to stand out, to shine brightly in a world that needs light. Your light isn't meant to be hidden, just as a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Your purpose is not just for your own benefit. It's for the world around you. The wisdom and strength you've developed are meant to be shared with others who need to know that there is hope, even in the darkest of times. You were called to be a living testament of what it looks like to walk through fire and emerge refined, strong, and full of light. You are the embodiment of hope. Through everything you've experienced, you have gained the ability to help others see that they, too, can endure and rise. Your purpose is to lead, guide, and inspire those who are lost. You have been prepared for this moment, not just for your own personal journey, but for the journey of others.
God has called you to be a beacon of hope in a world that often seems filled with despair. Whether you realize it or not, your story is not just yours. It belongs to the people who will be drawn to it. The challenges you've overcome, the wisdom you've gained, the resilience you've built, it all points to the fact that you were destined to shine. The world needs your light. The world needs your story. The season of your personal refinement may be over, but the real work is just beginning.
Your purpose isn't merely to walk the path you've walked for yourself. It's to help others find the same path. The same faith that carried you through your trials will now be the faith you share with others. The same strength that you found in your solitude will now be the strength you give away to those who are struggling to find their way. This moment marks the beginning of something new, something greater than you could have imagined. The light within you is not meant to remain hidden. It's meant to shine brightly so that others may find their way to God, to their own purpose, and to the light within them. This is the moment when you step out and begin fulfilling the divine purpose that God has been preparing you for. As you step into this new phase, know that your light will draw others closer to God. The wisdom you've gained, the peace you found, and the resilience you've developed will serve as a guide for those who need it most.
You are now the vessel through which God will reveal himself to the world. Through your light, others will find the strength to step into their own calling, just as you have done. You are called to shine not just for your own benefit, but to be a light to others. This is the higher purpose of your life, to guide those who are lost, to bring light into the darkness, and to help others step into their own divine destiny. You were created for this. The silence, the solitude, the separation, it was all part of God's plan to refine you, to prepare you, and to make you ready for this moment. And now that the time has come, you are more than equipped to fulfill the purpose that was always meant for you. The light within you is not just for yourself. It's for the people who need to see that there is hope, that there is a way out of darkness, and that they, too, can find their purpose. Your light will shine the way for others, guiding them toward the divine calling that God has placed on their lives. Your light will lead others to their light. You were never meant to keep your light to yourself. It's meant to shine brightly for all to see, to draw others to God, to help others discover their own divine purpose. The world needs your light. And now, it's time for you to shine in ways you've never shown before. The wisdom, the strength, and the clarity you've gained through your journey have prepared you for this very moment. Your purpose is clear. Your light is ready to shine. And the world is waiting for you to step into your calling. Embrace this moment with confidence, knowing that everything you've been through has led you to this point. You are now ready to step into your divine purpose. Let your light shine. Now that you are entering this new season, it's important to embrace the fullness of what God has for you. The time of preparation is over, and now is the time to step forward with confidence into your calling. You may still face challenges, but you are ready for whatever comes next. The lessons you've learned in isolation have prepared you for this moment, and you are equipped to walk in your purpose with clarity and strength. You may be wondering, what comes next? The answer is simple. Your purpose begins now. The world is ready to see you step into your divine calling, to witness the transformation that has taken place in you. God is with you as you move forward. You are not alone in this journey. The people, the opportunities, and the purpose you've been waiting for are now coming into your life. You are aligned with divine timing, and everything is beginning to fall into place. This season is not just about what you've been through, it's about where you're going. Embrace your calling. Embrace the light within you, and allow it to shine for the world to see. The journey may not always be easy, but with God by your side, there is nothing you cannot overcome. As you embrace the new season, you will begin to see that your purpose is unfolding before your eyes. You are stepping into a time of fulfillment, where everything you've been preparing for will now come to fruition. The lessons of the past, the struggles, the silence, the isolation are now being used to build the foundation for the work that lies ahead. Your life is now aligned with your divine destiny. You are ready to fulfill the calling that has been placed on your life. You are not just walking in the world's plan for you. You are walking in God's plan. And with that comes a sense of peace, purpose, and direction. You are no longer in the wilderness. You are stepping into the promised land. As you walk forward, remember that your journey has been carefully orchestrated by God. You are where you need to be, and everything that has happened to you has been part of the process that has brought you here. The divine reunion is not just about the people who will walk with you. It is also about the person you have become. Embrace this new season with open arms. You are ready for what is to come. The waiting is over, and your purpose is now unfolding before you. Step forward in confidence, knowing that God has gone before you, and He is with you every step of the way. This is your time to shine, to fulfill your divine calling, and to walk in the purpose that God has prepared for you. The season of divine reunion has come, and you are ready to embrace it fully. As we come to the close of this message, there is a final declaration I want to make to you. This is the moment where everything you have been through, everything you've faced, all the silence and solitude now culminates in the purpose that you were created for. This is your divine alignment. You are standing at the threshold of your destiny, ready to step into the fullness of your calling. The period of isolation, the loneliness, the waiting it was, all part of God's divine plan to prepare you. And now, you are ready. The work done in your time of isolation has shaped you. You are no longer the person you were when you first entered this season. You have been refined, healed, and transformed in ways that are beyond your own understanding. You may not have seen the change in real time, but now, as you reflect on the path you have walked, you can see how God has been working in your life, every step of the way. The waiting was never wasted. It was all preparation for this moment, when you stand fully equipped to walk into your calling with authority. Now, more than ever, you are being called to take action. This is the time to accept the mission. This is the time to stand up and declare that you are ready to step into the purpose that has been divinely assigned to you. The divine reunion is not just with others, it is a reunion with your true self, the person you were always meant to be. And now that you are aligned with God's purpose, the world will see your light. Don't look back at what you have lost, or the people who have left. They were never meant to walk this journey with you to the end. Your calling is too great for the wrong people to stay by your side. But now, the right people will come. The right opportunities will align. Everything is being set into motion. And you, chosen one, are at the center of it all. This is your moment to step forward and take your place in the purpose God has designed for you. Let this be a prophetic declaration to your spirit today. You are not forgotten. You have not been abandoned. Even though at times it may have felt like you were walking alone, God has been positioning you for greatness. He has been making space in your life for what is coming next. Heaven is ready to release you into your next phase, one that is filled with divine favor, purpose, and mission. The time of isolation is over. The time of preparation has borne fruit, and now you are being sent out to fulfill the purpose for which you were created. Every lesson learned in solitude, every moment of pain, every doubt, and every challenge, it has all been for this moment. You are not just stepping into a season of fulfillment. You are stepping into a season of impact. God has been shaping you into the vessel He needs you to be, to carry His light into the world. Your calling is not just for you, it is for others. You are meant to be a beacon of hope, a source of light, a living example of what it means to trust in God's timing, to walk in faith, and to embrace your divine purpose. The struggles you've faced, the trials you've overcome, the tears you've shed, they have all prepared you to shine like never before. Heaven is ready. You are ready. Now is the time for you to rise up and walk boldly into your purpose. This is the moment of release. The doors that were once closed are now open. The opportunities that seemed unreachable are now at your doorstep. You are being sent out with divine authority to accomplish what God has set before you. In this very moment, I invite you to make a powerful declaration, one that affirms your readiness to move into the next phase of your journey. Declare, I accept the mission. Type it in the comments below as a public affirmation of your faith and commitment to step boldly into the calling that has always been upon your life. By doing so, you are sealing your decision to walk forward in faith, knowing that you have been divinely equipped for everything that lies ahead. This is your moment to say yes to the divine purpose that is waiting to unfold. The path you've walked has not been easy, but it has been essential. Every challenge, every moment of silence, and every season of isolation has been preparing you. You are not the same person who entered this period of waiting. God has used the quiet to shape you, refine you, and make you ready. Now, the time has come for you to step into the fullness of your purpose. This is more than just a new chapter, it's the beginning of the rest of your life. The preparation you've endured has positioned you perfectly for this moment. And as you step forward, you are entering into the destiny that was always meant for you. The world has been waiting for the person you are becoming. This is the moment where you rise. The isolation, the waiting, and the preparation were all part of God's divine plan to prepare you for the destiny that lies ahead. You've faced struggles that no one else has seen. You've walked through pain that felt never-ending. But now, as you look back, you can see it wasn't in vain. You are standing on the other side of the storm, and you are stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose than ever before. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to step forward with confidence and embrace the life that God has prepared for you. The doors that were once closed are now wide open. No more distractions. No more delays. The way has been cleared, and it's time for you to step through with boldness. You are being sent out with divine favor, clarity, and purpose. Everything that you have been through has led you to this pivotal moment where you can finally rise and walk fully into your calling. You are equipped with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. You may not have all the answers, but you have the strength to move forward. You have been shaped for this moment. You have been built for this calling. The challenges you faced were not meant to break you. They were meant to build you up, so you can stand tall and shine in the world. God has been preparing you, and now it's time for you to walk into the life that He has planned for you. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you think about the future, but I want you to know you are not alone. Heaven is with you. The Holy Spirit is guiding your every step. You are the vessel of God's light, and the world is waiting for you to shine. Everything that has come before this moment has been preparation for what's ahead. Now, it's your turn to rise and fulfill your divine calling. The world needs your light, your wisdom, your unique gifts. You were created for such a time as this. This is your moment. The journey you've walked, though difficult at times, has only prepared you for this. You are stepping into a new season, a season of purpose, clarity, and divine favor. You have the strength to walk confidently into this new chapter, knowing that every step you take is aligned with God's will for your life. Now, I challenge you to walk confidently into your divine calling. Trust that you are equipped. Trust that you are ready. You are fully prepared for what lies ahead. And while the road may not always be easy, you will never walk it alone. God has been with you every step of the way, and He will continue to guide you as you move forward. Embrace your purpose and step into the destiny that is waiting for you. Let this moment be the beginning of something incredible. Declare, with full confidence, that you accept the mission God has placed before you. Write it in the comments below as a spiritual affirmation that you are ready to move forward in faith. You are stepping into your calling. You will shine. I accept the mission. With this simple declaration, you are acknowledging that you are ready to move into your purpose. Knowing that God has already equipped you for everything that lies ahead, I step forward in faith, knowing that God is with me and that His plan for my life will unfold in divine timing. I will shine. I will walk boldly into my calling, and I will fulfill the purpose that God has placed in my life. This is a time of great alignment, a time when heaven is opening doors, and your purpose is coming into full view. You are being positioned for greatness. No longer will you stand in the background or hide in the shadows. The time for you to step forward is now. You are ready to walk with boldness, knowing that you are equipped with the divine favor and wisdom you need to fulfill your calling. As you move forward, don't let doubt or fear hold you back. The path ahead may not always be clear, but trust that God is guiding you every step of the way. You are not walking alone. The Spirit of God is with you, leading you, and empowering you to fulfill your purpose. Your light is needed in this world, and the time has come for you to step out and shine. I encourage you to embrace your calling with confidence. You are ready. You have been prepared for this moment, and now it's time to rise up and fulfill the mission God has for you. Step forward boldly, knowing that you are divinely equipped for everything that lies ahead. In this season of your life, the doors that once seemed closed are now open. The opportunities you've been waiting for are now within reach. This is your moment to shine. The world needs the light that you carry, and you are ready to step out into the fullness of your calling. So take this moment and declare with confidence, I accept the mission. I will walk boldly into my purpose, knowing that God has prepared me for this. I will shine brightly, fulfilling the divine calling on my life. This is your time. Step forward with confidence. Embrace the divine calling that is yours, and walk boldly into your purpose. The world is waiting for you. At this moment, you are stepping into the divine reunion. You are no longer walking in silence, but in the fullness of your purpose. The wait is over. The preparation has been completed. You are now ready to walk into the next phase of your journey with faith, clarity, and divine favor surrounding you. Remember that this journey has not been in vain. Every moment of solitude, every struggle, every trial, it has all been preparing you for this moment. You have been shaped. You have been refined. Now, you are being released to fulfill your divine purpose with authority. As you take this next step, know that heaven is with you. You are being sent with divine favor, and you are fully equipped to fulfill the mission God has given you. Your calling is not just for your benefit, it is for the world. You were chosen to bring light, truth, and healing into this world, and now is the time for you to shine. Step forward in confidence, chosen one. The season of waiting is over. The time for action has arrived. Go forth boldly, knowing that you are walking in alignment with God's plan for your life. You are ready, and this is only the beginning.